Cube Defense Operation Revamp is finally here, guys, and with it comes a lot of new updates, a lot of new changes, system redos, everything. So much stuff. It's not everything, but so much stuff has been completely redone. Balances, buffs, debuffs, changes to how the game works in general. It's all so different. It is crazy. And we're going to be going over everything about it and also mention how broken it is. So I hope you guys do enjoy. Make sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe button down below. You don't have to do so, but it helps me out and it helps you out to come back so you can find more content, which there should be more content on this coming out very soon. So be ready for that. Let's get right into the video. Let's go on ahead and just begin by talking about the update. The update came out about 30 minutes past the predicted time of the developers saying it would be coming out, and that's okay. It was crazy. There was hype in the Discord, and it came out, and everybody started playing it, and immediately ran into a bunch of issues. The game has completely broken just about. There are so many bugs it is almost impossible to play currently. Red Guy is currently not online, but he should be and begin working on it, and will begin working on it today. Hopefully we'll have all these bugs fixed by the end of the day, but we'll see what happens. It's a lot of them. There's a whole lot of issues. And I will defend them this. They did do some testing and they didn't encounter all these bugs like we did. As you will see above in this gameplay, which I actually was recorded a while ago before the update came out. I got special permission to go in there and play a game with them, so I went in there and did that, and here's some gameplay for that. However, I will note that there were a lot of things broken here, but it wasn't game breaking like it is currently. So the massive people, the difference is made it pretty broken, and so they're trying their best to get this fixed for us, and hopefully it will be at some point. Now that we've gone over the brokenness of the game, let's go on ahead and get into the Operation Revamp notes. Oh yes, one more thing, I would not suggest playing the game a ton right now. Especially if you're trying to gain rewards or purchase rewards via Roblox, because there's a good chance you're going to be losing it. It's pretty broken right now, and I would not suggest taking any sort of purchases or trying to grind for anything, because you are going to be breaking a lot, and your things that you gain may not actually save. So make sure you are being careful. Let's go on ahead and get into the patch notes here. I'll put a link down in the description below to these notes. This is Operation Revamp Phase 1. Let's just begin with the very beginning. The first point, all GUIs have been redone, reworked in both match and lobby servers. So it's just every single GUI is redone. It's been completely redone, new looking. It's different. Everything's different. It looks very good too. The player list will now show who that person is. EX, example, staff, investor, premium, etc. Their level and what device they are playing on. I will make a note here, it does not show CubeTuber. Can we get that, please? No, it's okay. I'm kind of disappointed though, just a little bit. I kind of wanted that in there. I bet asset creators there too. I'm disappointed just a little bit, but we'll see. They may change that. I'll have patience here. New setting menu to control various options to meet your needs. That's what I was showing you guys in one of the previous leak videos, only there's a lot more options than what I showed you guys. My option actually that I suggested was included, so that one is in there as well with the cube HP bars. That one has been removed. The same. There's a bunch of other ones. I'm not going to go over each one right now. Remove the most stars leaderboard and add the most wins to each type of survival difficulty. So basically what that means is you're going to, instead of having a most stars, most level leaderboard, you still got the most level leaderboard, but now you've got the most wins for easy mode, medium mode, hard mode, and chaos mode. Chaos mode is also very hard to beat, and very few people have beaten it so far. I haven't even been able to play it yet, so we'll try that at some point soon. The included major support for mobile and Xbox players. Mobile and Xbox players, you guys have just gotten some help playing this game, because it used to be a lot harder to play. I'm assuming it's easier, but I know that there's still bugs right now, especially with mobile, I believe. I believe mobile's got a lot of issues right now, so be wary of that. The inventory menu now allows you to drag and drop towers into available slots. This means you can basically organize your inventory however you want to, and you can put certain towers in certain places. It's really nice, very organizable, and I like it a lot. Very, very, very smooth. However, it's as well has got bugs and can be broken, so be careful. with that. The survival game mode now has 4 different difficulties and is a combination of both both classic and battlefield map, the typo by the developers. That means that basically you're gonna get both battlefield and classic on the same survival mode. They are not separate modes now. They are different types of maps, but they are in the same mode and will be gained from the same mode as different maps that you'll be able to vote on later. Temporarily disabled competitive, Trials of Uzo, and sandbox modes, those will be coming back in a couple of weeks, but RIP Trials of Uzo for a little bit and RIP Sandbox. I will note with the survival game mode, there is no future waves. So once you hit 50 or 40 or whatever the wave limit is for that game mode, which it varies depending on each game mode that you play, it'll end there, and it does not continue. They stop, and I was explaining to the devs, it kind of has to do with people getting bored with the game. I'm not going to go into detail because I didn't completely understand it, but basically they thought it was boring, made it more boring and less exciting to have it extend into later waves, and there's very little point for later waves due to a lack of rewards. So I believe that's the reason why they have removed it so far. Updated all challenges to work with the new modes. That means that some challenges that may not have worked with this update, they're now updated to work with this update. So that is good. That's just kind of a necessary update, or else they'd have a bunch of broken challenges. Remove Last Man Standing and Core Collector game modes. That's just so you, those are gone. Those are completely gone. Core Collector was never really played anyways. Last Man Standing was very hard to code, and Red Guy refuses to recode it because of the amount of time he spent on a very broken game mode, so he has just dropped that and said it's too hard to do, and he's not going to be redoing it, and I can respect that. It's hard. I can see how it would be hard to have 8 players with their own maps and their own levels and everything, so I doubt it'll ever come back. If Red Guy ever gets the urge to do it or the want to do it, maybe try to redo it, he may, but I doubt it because of how hard it was. VIP Game Pass no longer subtracts placement costs, but instead allows for more oil rigs to be placed. Oil rigs now have a higher limit, yes! I haven't even gotten to place oil rigs yet because of how broken the game is right now. But oil rigs, I haven't even been able to tell how many more. I bet it's 2. I would predict it's 2 more, but I cannot confirm nor deny. There probably can be comments that can confirm if you want to look down there. Added the Starters Pack Game Pass, which has several perks for both new and old players. I actually purchased this. I got nothing. It was a mistake to do so early, so I don't know if I'll be getting those back or not. We'll see. I'm not horribly worried. If not, it's not that big of a deal. I didn't get that many buffs. Just some. It just gives an. Well, let me go see here. What does it give? It allows you to get the bubble tower. It unlocks the bubble tower. Unlocks tower slot 6, which I already unlocked that. I unlocked that a long time ago, so that's no big deal to me. 500 gold, 2 max boosters, and 1 level. I did not get the level. I did not get the 2 max boosters, and I cannot tell if I got the 500 gold. I don't think I did, but. Says you can only purchase it once and cannot be purchased again. It's okay, but RIP. It did not work. Hopefully that will be fixed eventually. I would not suggest purchasing that right now at the current moment. Wait for later. They added the Orbital Cannon Game Pass, which gives you the Orbital Cannon Tower upon purchase. Or, if you do not have the Robux to do this, you can wait till level 30 to unlock this tower. Or be able to unlock to purchase this tower. Previous owners of the Double Start Game Pass now own this Game Pass because it's technically the same Game Pass, just the price and reward has been changed, but it's still designated as Roblox as the same Game Pass. So if you owned it previously, you still own it now, and you will gain the Orbital Cannon now at this point. Also, the earning the tower at level 30 has been moved back to Phase 2. You will not be able to unlock it at level 30 for at least a couple of weeks. But once Phase 2 has come out, that will be done, which we will be discussing Phase 2 in a little bit. We're barely past halfway through this whole entire changelog. Let's keep moving. New loading screen GUI when teleporting between servers. It's a very nice, slightly blurred, good-looking loading screen. I really like it. It's a good quality, and it's got the good aspects to it. but I mean, that's just a minor thing. Map voting screen and map shuffling. You guys may have already seen the map voting screen. You probably haven't seen you probably also saw the map shuffling. Weeby did that whenever we were testing. It looked pretty good, pretty clean, and it makes things easier whenever you're trying to get a map that you're specifically looking for, which I've done that before, and I've spent a good 45 minutes looking for a single map, and yeah, that was a fun time, wasn't it? All map towers and cubes have been shrunk by 33%. That is pretty cool, as basically everything around you has gotten much smaller. I mean, not a lot smaller, but it's it's still pretty small. All towers, not just the map, but actual towers themselves have also been shrunk. So a lot of things are smaller now, and it just kind of shrinks the movable area, makes it easier to get around to different places. But yeah, I'm glad that it's smaller. I like it being smaller. No more 1x1 grid placement. Because of this, towers can be placed very close to each other. This also makes it where towers cannot be placed easily in between other towers. So you need to be careful when leaving space in between towers, because you may not leave enough space for another tower. It can make things more complicated. I see the bonuses and the negatives and positives to this. I had an issue earlier not being able to place a blade spinner in between a campfire and the road, and that was kind of annoying to me, but hopefully as we play it more, we'll get more used to the range, the size of towers, and it'll become easier to place things in their positions without other towers getting in the way. Now the cubes have been converted to a new movement system. That's pretty cool. Basically, cubes no longer will stutter along the track because of lag or some other issue. They will move very smoothly along the track. If you have some lag, it'll be you may be able to see it in the game. It's a bit weird, but it's still pretty smooth, even though it kind of breaks a little bit. I'm not sure how accurate the positions of those cubes were once they lagged though, so that kind of confused me a little bit, but hopefully we'll get used to that as well. The new hotbar you know, let's just try this again. New tower hotbar and controls for tower placement. I don't know if it's so much the controls for PC. There may be some changes for Xbox and mobile devices, but for PC I don't see much of a change of controls, except for that you have to move down to your new hotbar and click down there and then place. So it's a different place for you to click it. But I think it's still pretty nice, and you still use Shift, Q, and R for rotate, quit, and keep placing. The Sell All Towers button has been moved to the tower info screen, so basically if you click on a tower and you see the tower's info to your left, you should also be able to see a Sell All Towers option at the very bottom of that info box right there. A rotating green circle now surrounds your tower to indicate which ones are yours. This actually broke for me a while ago on my second game that I successfully loaded into, and it doesn't always show up. If it doesn't show up, you also will not see the green dot saying that it needs upgrading. I don't know why this is, but once you upgrade it though, that green circle appears and it now looks like yours. But that green circle is very helpful. I do like it, and it helps me determine which towers are mine and which ones are other players. But I mean, it's as well as a lot of things are right now, broken, and you have to be careful. I think all types of TNT cubes will now temporarily disable towers instead of deleting them. This is no longer making it difficult whenever you have a TNT cube boss blow up half of your towers. That's gone at this point. It's now just disabling them, so they will be down for the count for a little bit, and then they'll come back up and they'll keep working for you. So it's not as bad anymore. At least I hope it's not as bad anymore. Well, we'll see. I don't think it will be. Each tower has a temple gain amount. This is used for maxing out a raw temple. To max it out, you need 1,000 total points in range of the temple. I will note this is also broken at times. I've seen people get 3 damage on their temple, which is actually lower than the actual possible normal amount without any points from what I've heard. I believe with at least for before revamp, the lowest like damage you get was 65 on a temple damage, and so that's kind of basically means you've got a very bad temple now, and you probably want to sell that temple because it's useless. New victory defeat menu now shows stats about the match. That is amazing. It looks really good. Mobile players now have a type of top-down menu when placing towers. This makes it much easier to play cube defense on mobile. Yes, for mobile players, this is a lot easier now in terms of how you play. Very nice to see that made possible for them and make it easier for them to work with the game. The more mobile and Xbox capabilities there are and work with, you know, the easier it is to play the game on those devices, the better it'll be for those devices, of course, and it'll help them with that. It did not mention, which surprises me, the lobby has been changed as well. The lobby is completely redone. Instead of having your black background with little stars and specks moving across, you now have an actual map that you slowly move across, and it's different maps. Over time it'll change to different maps. It looks really good, very nice. I'd like to see cubes and towers defending during these views, but that may be implemented later and may never be implemented. I don't know. I'd like to see it, but I don't know if that would cause a lot of lag. I doubt it, but we'll see. Let's go on ahead and move into tower changes now. All towers have been rebalanced and adjusted. Any tower that has been overpowered before has been nerfed. Any tower that was terrible before has been buffed. Here are some notes on towers with major changes. So not all of the towers listed here are not all the towers that were changed are listed here, but the major changes are now shown here. So these are the major changes. The first one has to do with the frost rail. The damage and freeze time reduced. Shoots faster but cannot shoot a cube that is already being slowed. And also, instead of dealing damage to ice cubes, it heals them with the damage it is supposed to do. Ouch. Healing ice cubes, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a lot. That's going to hurt a whole lot. Orbital satellite fire rate increased, but some reduced damage. Actually, I haven't seen too many complaints, so I guess it's not that big of a difference. But then again, there have been a lot of people being able to play right now because of the brokenness of the game. So we'll just have to wait and see. Temple's 5th tier now will sacrifice other towers based on the temple power value. I probably completely tore up that sentence, but we're just gonna go with it as accurate. 1,000 power needed to max. So each tower has its own temple power value, and if you get enough temple power value, you will be able to max the temple. There's some nice quick math you're gonna have to start doing in your head whenever you're maxing a temple. Also, I've been told temples maxing can now get up to 250 instead of 225. So that's a little buff for the temple there. Campfire has been completely redone. The system is completely redone. And the perks now include range, which it now specifies 10% range upon level 1. I don't know what the maxing is. I haven't been able to max it yet. Actually, I've seen it maxed. I don't remember what it was, but you may have seen it already. I've forgotten. I'm sorry. The Shadow Sight now, upgrade cost, and map healing. I have not seen the map healing in effect yet. We'll see. It may just be bringing it back up to its maximum, and if it's lower than its maximum. So I bet that actually is what it is, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll have to wait and find out later in an actual gameplay. Gold mine now gives gold after every wave. That's a major buff, I believe. Maybe. I don't know if it's a buff. Maybe it's not a buff. I don't know. It's changed now. So no longer are you just getting gold over time. It is now on a specific system. Every time a wave ends, you'll get a specific amount of gold depending on the level of the tower. So that is maybe better, maybe worse. I don't really know. We'll find out. Bubble Tower has been reskinned into a cannon. It is no longer a bunch of little purple and black bubbles, or I think they were all purple bubbles with a black base and stuff. It is now an actual purplish cannon that fires and does a lot of damage. Actually, it's surprisingly a pretty good tower. I've used it in easy mode on this gameplay, so it's pretty good. Mounted Flamethrower now does more damage over time and shows effects for it. That's cool. That's much better. I'm happy to see that Flamethrower is doing a bit more damage. Mounted Flamethrower already was pretty good, so that's pretty nice. to see. Plantation now gives more cash. They've been kind of doing this over time. This is not the first time they've nerfed or buffed the plantation cash reward, so it's kind of to be expected here. Dead Ice no longer freezes cubes. Rip. Oh, that our overpowered buddy is no longer overpowered. How sad. Let's slow them down instead. Kind of like a glue gun. AOE glue gun. I don't know what AOE means. Somebody in the comments, please tell me what AOE means, because I have absolutely no idea. Updated effects for Mortar and Defabricator. Mortar, I've kind of seen a picture of it. It's a little block now, but I don't know if it's a block or not, but I know that it's got this little trail behind it that moves, and it's very smooth. It's got this nice arc. It's slow, I believe. I could be wrong though. I didn't actually see an actual movement of it, but it looks to be slower. So I'd like to see that in use at some point too. Reskin for mounted minigun and fire rate adjustments. So fire rate adjustments also been adjusted for the rail minigun too. Rail minigun shoots a lot slower. And actually there's some other towers I'll discuss in a second once we get through all these that are different, that are pretty major changes actually. But Poseidon's Tomb now shoots a single beam instead of 5 or 25 or something like that. I don't remember its exact amount of clouds, but instead it just shoots one beam. But that beam has an explosion which damages and slows cubes. So now the tomb is basically an explosive tower. There you go. It now blows up towers, cubes. That's kind of cool. I can't wait to try that out as well, and I hope it's still as good as it used to be. I bet it still sacrifices towers, but we'll see. It may not. It may not sacrifice towers anymore. We'll have to see, because if you think about it, they removed towers being sacrificed, right? So how come? So is this still taking towers anyways? I don't really know. We'll find out. Another couple of changes, the Lord Zorvuzo and the Star of Zorvuzo, they have been changed in the way that they fire. They no longer have 5 stars, they only have 1 star from now on. All levels have only 1 star. However, this star also shoots slower. I believe it does more damage, but it shoots a lot slower now. Instead of a constant ray of damage, it now does quick burst of shots for both of them. I don't know why. Balancing, lag reduction, I'm not totally sure, but the devs may explain that to me later. But that is the change for those towers. Disabled towers now. We have a few towers that will not be able to be placed currently. They are actually in your inventory still, but you cannot place them if you have them in your inventory. I didn't even try putting them in my inventory. They may not let you put them in your inventory, which is actually another broken place. Your inventory is highly broken right now. I would not suggest trying to break things. Spike Trap has been disabled. Egg Launcher is disabled. Pumpkin Launcher is disabled. Stealth Bomber is disabled. Santa Sleigh is disabled. Sun Temple MK2 is disabled. And Anti-Cube Defense has been disabled. The bucket now gives less gold for getting Golden Bucket, but should be a bit more common. I can finally show you guys how to get the golden bucket. Yay! Hopefully. I've tried so hard to do that for you guys as a video, and it never got it. So hopefully I can get it this time and show you guys the golden bucket. I hope. Disabled modes. These are the modes, as said, I believe that we said before that were disabled, but they should be coming back. Competitive, Sandbox, and Trials of Uzo. I have no idea what Sandbox is going to look like whenever it comes back. I don't know if Trials of Uzo is going to look any different when it comes back. I know competitive is going to look different though. It's predicted, as said below, that competitive mode will have a new cube sending feature where you can send cubes to the opposing team. I'm told that you can even send an N cube, which means that your opponent only has a certain amount of time once you send it before they die as well, because an N cube cannot be killed at all. And I don't know anything about Sandbox and Trials of Uzo though. I don't know if how different they will be when they return. We'll have to wait and find out. All towers will be functional on phase 2. We kind of moved into phase 2 kind of off the bat there, but this is talking about the next update for the revamp. Twitter codes, that means they're going to actually get more active with their Twitter. I know that they've already sort of active with their Twitter. I kind of want them to get more active though. Come on guys, just a bit more active, come on. And then Easter event, which is exciting. We're actually going to get Easter, and there's going to be a new tower for Easter. As the Twitter account has said, there will be an Easter tower and an Easter event coming this Easter. Yeah. So that'll be cool as well, and we will do videos on that too. So I think that's about everything. Guys, hope you did enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe button down below. You don't have to do so, but it helps me out, and it can help you get back to this awesome content all about cube defense. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.